with some hawks, and Teddy has a Harris's hawk. Now, a Harris's hawk is named after a person from long ago, and they live in the southwestern United States.
It's on top of his head.
In the desert, in places like Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. And the bird I'm bringing out right now is our largest, most common hawk here in the U.S. called the red-tailed hawk. If you've ever seen hawks flying around high in the sky, chances are you've seen red-tailed because they're by far our most common big bird out there. Although if you look closer, you'll notice that this bird doesn't have a red tail, it has a brown tail. That's because in their first year, they do have a brown tail. Adults can identify
they make the eyes like they have something on their
All they
eyes.
have to do is see that, and they know it's a young
So that
bird.
they can also see if they see, they can fly and get
she's
the
gonna drop
prey.
this tail, and she's going to have a nicely red tail. Now, I know the first thing everybody notices is the equipment on these birds that we didn't have on the owls, because these are birds that typically,
Did you see that?
I don't aim her like that. These birds are typically the birds that are thrown in the sport of falconry, the daytime hunting birds of prey. So first of all, falconry is hunting with a bird. It's teamwork, basically. A working relationship based on food between man, woman, bird, whatever. You go out, you allow the bird, encourage the bird to catch natural prey. Now, it started out thousands of years ago, so long ago, people actually don't really know when it started. But at least 4,000 years ago, it's believed to have originated in China or Asia. And long ago, it was a practical way to bring home fresh meat. In other words, today we have it easy. You want your food, you go to the store, you buy whatever you want. But in ancient times, there were no stores and there were no restaurants. So if you wanted to eat meat, you had to go out and hunt for it on your own, or you did without. And birds of prey were one of man's first hunting partners. By training a bird to catch something and encouraging it to catch something natural, a big meal like a squirrel or a rabbit, once my bird did that, I can approach the bird with a meal already prepared in the bag, offer a trade, give the bird the meal, and that rabbit or squirrel can go home to feed the family when times were tough. So that actually helped us survive when survival was extremely difficult. And falconers still practiced by cultures all around the world today. Now today, I don't need to rely on them for food. I don't need squirrels and rabbits to survive. However, when my bird catches something during the hunting season, which is in the winter, none of it goes to waste, because remember, they need those natural foods. This bird catches a rabbit, she gets what she needs. She's also providing for all the other hungry birds we have. Now, the equipment we have is all for the bird's safety and comfort in captivity. They all have soft leather straps or nylon straps called jesses around their ankles, so they can be attached to a leash when they're being handled on the glove. They have a bell on the leg, because when they fly around, they can quite easily disappear from sight. And when they do, the ringing of the bell will tell us where the bird is. But the most important tool of all, by far, is the leather hood on the bird's head. All the hood does is block the bird's vision, nothing more. It fits the bird comfortably, and it eliminates distraction that might frighten the bird. Remember, sight hunters, they rely on their eyesight. If it's food, it can attract them. If it scares them, that's a different story. And it's really my only way to take a negative experience and make it positive. Because if that bird sees something that scares it, something in the audience or the crowd, it doesn't matter what it is, I can't explain to the bird that there's nothing to fear. I can't explain to you mean no harm. What I can do is put the hood on, because as soon as it goes on and the bird is in the dark, it calms down immediately, out of sight, out of mind. You may have seen big blinders on a racehorse. That's a powerful athletic animal that could hurt itself or others if it panics. Those blinders eliminate distractions and keep them calm, and that's what the hood does for the bird. Now, exercise is important for the bird as well. I like to think of them as athletes in the wild, because they need speed and strength and endurance to catch the prey. Remember, they're flying around during the day now. So prey might see them coming and might be running fast or flying fast. So they've got to be much faster than the owls to be successful. So they are very athletic and maneuverable. And like an athlete, they need all the same training. They need practice, they need a hard workout, they need good food, good rest. So the exercise, for example, that I would do with the Harris hawk on a daily basis, I'd take him out and toss him up into a tree, take a walk around, he'll follow me around, and then I take this tool out of my bag. This is called the lure, and I drop it on the ground. Now, the lure is just an imitation of what I want the bird to catch. We talked about rabbits earlier, right? So this is the rabbit lure. I can make it look like anything, but this happens to be a rabbit lure. And all it is a piece of fur sewn together nice and soft. Now, I'm not fooling the bird. He knows this isn't real. He doesn't care. All he cares about, what I taught him, is that if he catches this, he gets a meal. A reflection of nature, right? Catch a rabbit out there, you get a meal. Catch this rabbit instead, you get a meal. Everything we do is a reflection of nature. We try to keep the lessons for the bird as simple and as natural as possible. And it's a way to give him exercise because we don't always make it easy. When he gets good at swooping down and catching it, I can pull it away and hide it in my bag and make him chase it over and over again until he's exhausted, and then feed him his meal. And he builds muscle and good practice that way. So we're going to show you how it works, but I'm not going to be the rabbit. She's going to be the rabbit. So here's actually what's going to happen. I'm going to hide this lure where the bird can't see it because,
Look at now, he's gonna.
as I said, just like nature, if we were out hunting for a real rabbit, we never know when one might come running out from under a bush at high speed. The bird may only have a second to catch it before that opportunity is lost. So we're going to copy that here by hiding the lure. And then she will be in charge of the lure. Under here should be fine. Okay. Alright. So here's what's going to happen. Teddy's going to unhook the bird, release him, he'll go up into a tree. And he'll fly around from tree to tree. He might move around a little bit. You know, I might call him to follow me. I might say up. He knows a couple of simple commands. He's up, move up, and follow. And when the time is right, when it's time for the rabbit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my right hand over my head, straight over my head. That's a silent signal that only we know. It means nothing to the bird. At that time, our rabbit's going to take off, and we're going to see if the hawk can catch the lure. Now, it's an opportunity for you to help me train the bird as well, because as I said, he knows a couple of simple commands. The most important command of all, believe it or not, is the bird's name. I shout his name when it's time to catch the lure for a real rabbit. So whenever he hears his name, he's always looking for the target. So I'm going to tell you his name. And then when I raise my hand over my head, I want everybody to shout that bird's name one time as loudly as you possibly can. Everybody got that? Okay, his name is Rip. R-I-P. I won't say it again, I'll spell it for you because he can't spell. R-I-P. But only when I raise my hand. Some of you saw him fly over in that direction. Remember to listen for that bell. Aha, I see you. I see you, husband. Up on the roof. That's cheating. He's too close. Too close. That's too easy. I don't want to make it easy for him.
His name is Rip.
Get up in that tree. Good job. All right, good. Okay, here we go. And a one, and a two, and a three.
Wow.
Yeah, let's have a hand for our rabbit. So what he's doing now, obviously, he's eating a reward on the lure, and he naturally just spreads his wings and his tail because he's just protective of his food. He doesn't want anybody else out there to see what he's got. A wild hawk circling above might want to steal his prey, so he's covering it up. And then when he's done with that, what I'll do is I'll approach him, and I will offer him another reward on the glove. In other words, I would never take from the bird. People often ask me, why doesn't he just fly away and hunt on his own? Because he trusts me. Yeah, I saw the shadow, but I wasn't sure what it was. You see that raven fly over? Ravens are real smart birds. Here, here, buddy.
He's like nice.
See now, if I went and I took that lure away from the bird without offering a trade, to him I'm stealing from him, right? So the reason he trusts me is because I never steal and make a fair trade. He gets another reward on the glove, and the rabbit goes in the bag. So I'm going to put him back in his box as soon as he's finished with this little bit. And we're going to introduce you to somebody else because we talked about exercise for the bird. But keep in mind,